Hi everybody, welcome to Jenkins Boat Works. I am Chuck Jenkins. If you've been watching us lately, you know that we picked up a boat for free. And so we've been trying to evaluate it and see what we can do. This video is going to include a hard decision. Do we keep it? Do we decide to let it go? And so I kind of want to go through my thought process and everything that's going into this, and you're going to see some video in this episode of some specific problem areas, that sort of thing, to help understand how we can come to a decision, a practical decision about what is going to be our best course of action. So we're glad you're here. If you happen to be new to the channel, this is kind of a irregular deal that we're doing. We're been right in the middle of building a 20 or a 16-foot sailboat, the Soam Sand, and we're going to get back to work on that here pretty soon. This thing just kind of fell on me, and when I saw a free boat, I couldn't resist. Maybe I should have, I don't know. But anyway, we're glad you're here. If you haven't subscribe to the channel, consider doing so, and dig around in the channel, see what else we got on there. We got tons of projects, all kinds of different stuff that we do. And so let's jump in. I'll try to give you an idea of where we're at with this thing. In the last video, we got this Spindrift 22 into the shop and on some boat stands, and went into the cabin to kind of see how much water was in the bilge, and there was a fair amount. Now I think it got in there from when we did the power washing, because it hasn't rained and the boat hasn't been in the water. Now my major concern at this point is that she's still leaking water out of here. She's been sitting in here for a day. Okay, so I've climbed aboard. We're standing in the cockpit. Here's the companionway. And like I said, this inspection hatch for the bilge is right in the back part of the keel. Like I said, we vacuumed some water out of here last night. It's sort of a good news, bad news thing. With that much water in there and only about 3 or 4 drops on that board outside, it tells me that if there is a little pinhole leak in there, it is just that, a little pinhole leak. And so we may be able to figure out where it's coming from, put a little epoxy and or fiberglass on it to seal it up. Something else we did in a previous video, although I don't know if it got published, was there is steel and concrete is what they used for ballast in these Spindrift 22s. You can maybe see that steel rod sticking out of there, a couple of them. And the other thing, though, that we're finding is that there's some sand in this, you know, as a part of just the concrete. And I don't know if it's just breaking down from the concrete. You can really see the concrete right there. But I pulled a whole bunch of sand out of here when I dried this bilge out the last time. And I did stick my hand up underneath the boat last night, and it felt sandy in the centerboard slot. So that concerns me some. If there's a breach in the inside of that centerboard trunk or the keel, I just don't know. There is a strong possibility that this thing was full of water and then it froze, which really would have not been good, because it would have expanded in there and it could have caused the problems that we may have. All of this assessment right now is really a determination for, are we going to fix this boat up or not? And I'm still on the fence. So I didn't want to get too carried away with doing a bunch of the simple type stuff, only to find out that it wasn't going to be worth the effort. I think it's kind of a cool boat. I mean, I like it. I think it'd be a great little sailor for somebody. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to roll around and get under there. Let's go see what we're dealing with. Okay, I'm looking under here and feeling up in the center board slot. I'm actually touching the center board. So when it's up, it's pretty much right even with the bottom of the keel. This is one of these areas that I'm worried about, where somebody's tried to do some repair on here. And in fact, I see water getting ready to form right there, a little tiny drop coming. I don't know where that's coming from. I feel a little like chipped away area in the underside of this. I'm gonna pray nobody sealed this down with 5200. It's just filthy in here too. If I'm gonna do much more work, we're gonna clean her out. Wow. Holy smoke. What a strange thing. So that's all encased. It's not, there's no access to the, okay, so we pulled this trunk out, this cover, and really all that's going on down here is this is all sealed up and there's really no access to the board. I believe that that's the pin for it. See that where it looks like kind of a plumbing fixture on both sides there? I'm pretty sure that's the pin for the center board. And maybe you can pull the pin out of there by unscrewing those caps, which would let maybe the center board get out of there. Heaven help me if I got to take it out and put it back in. Okay, so we must be below the water line because they got this tube to keep water from coming up through there. And I don't really see any other access to the bilge or the keel down there. I got the GoPro camera because I think I can get up underneath here, and what I want to see is how much I can see in the inside of this centerboard trunk. See what it looks like. So we're gonna turn that up like that. And we're moving back. And then back forward. The centerboard is right here. It's got a big crack in it. And it comes forward pretty far. We're going to have to make some hard decisions here. There's still water in the build, so it's not leaking out real fast and real hard, but it's got issues. All right, so the first thing that I decided to do when we got this boat home was I kind of just wanted to take an overall evaluation of what's good, what's bad, and what might we be able to do. We got the boat for free. We got the boat, an outboard motor, and a trailer, all with titles. So the possibilities with that are that we could fix the boat up, keep it, sail it, be legal with it, maybe keep it for a little while, sail it, and then sell it, maybe just fix it up and sell it, and or
rob the parts and things off of it and part it out and sell pieces of it and just try to get some money out of it. So as a part of that process then, I started looking at the boat and I made a list of all the things that I felt like we needed to do. Now, one of the first things I did was I power washed it, and you may have seen that in the last video, and it was really grimy. There's still a little bit of it on here, and it's stuff that builds up when they sit outside for a long time. But after we power washed it, I was wildly encouraged because she really did clean up quite nicely. And there's a little bit of cracking in the gel coat and that sort of thing, but honestly, not very much. I don't even know if you'd really need to fix it. So that was a positive. The trailer's in really good shape. I haven't tried to start the engine, but I have no reason to believe that either it doesn't run or that it can't be made to run. I feel certain that it can. So anyway, then I was like, okay, well, now what? I had noticed some very strange looking places on the keel down below here where it looked like somebody had tried to repair it, and they either didn't do a very good job or else it has suffered subsequent damage since those repairs were made. So in an effort to more clearly be able to inspect the keel, we got her in here, got her off the trailer, and got her set up on some boat stands and in the slings in the gantry. And so I've been able to go aboard, I've been able to get underneath the boat and those sorts of things and really kind of do some evaluation. If this boat was in good shape, what could you expect to pay for it? That's one of the first things that I had to think about. This boat's old. I think it's maybe a 1980s model, maybe an 84, something like that. Nothing wrong with that. But it's also not really a very common model. It's a Spindrift 22-foot sloop, sailboat. It's very similar to a Catalina 22, just not nearly as popular, and there weren't as very many of them made. So I don't know how much you could get for it. If it was in primo, perfect shape with the trailer, you might get $5,000 out of it. But you better have good cushions in it, and the engine better start first try, and the trailer better be up to snuff. And $5,000, I think, is our upper limit on this thing. You know, unless somebody came along that just loves spindrifts and they just had to have the boat. But the chances of finding that are probably pretty thin. So we're going to say $5,000 is the upper limit. Now, in order to get there, we'd have to do a ton of work. And so I made a list of all the things that were at least immediate things that I saw that I thought, you know, some of this is a seaworthiness issue and some of it is cosmetic. But what do we need to do? So I made a list. We have to change out the trailer winch. It's old, doesn't work. That's not a big deal. Okay. Reattach 2 stanchions. The stanchions are these pieces that hold your lifelines. And right behind here, that one and the corresponding one on the other side, they're both out. And I looked at those, and they're supposed to be an aluminum plate underneath the deck that they just screw right into. I can't find that on either side. So it's rotted, or I don't know how they pulled out, but it's not necessarily an easy fix. Absolutely, it is fixable, but it's not really easy. Our forward hatch here, it leaks, and the whole front cover was a kind of a smoke tinted plastic top on the thing. It actually blew off on the way home. I didn't know it was loose. Got home and the whole thing was open, so we've got plastic and duct tape on it. We're probably going to have to replace that entire hatch just to get right. And so that piece alone, you're probably talking $300, $400, $500 to get a hatch that would fit in there that's decent, that you would want to put in there. So that's ugly. We'd need to sand and varnish and or oil the teak handrails up there on the cabin top. Not a big deal. Check the running lights. I haven't even begun to do that. There's no battery in the boat. I do know that most of the wiring inside the boat probably have to be redone. It's kind of a mess. Tighten the bolts on the swim ladder on the back. I actually already did that. There's a scupper tube going out the transom on starboard that's, well, it's not there. So when water gets in the cockpit, it just runs down into the hull instead of going out off the boat. The main sheet's a mess. We'd have to replace that. Halyards are a mess. We'd have to replace that. The mast actually looks pretty good, and so does the boom, although there is one stainless steel shroud that would have to be replaced, and that probably would be minimum $100. Power wash, well, we already did that, and I got fairly well encouraged when we did that. Evaluate the keel. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. The outboard motor bracket board on the back is just old and rotted. Replace that. Not a big deal. The companionway, the cabin top lid slides. And right now the whole thing's forward because it lifts also, but the actual, when you just push it open to get in, when it comes all the way to the back, there's gaps on both sides that will let any kind of amount of rainwater in there, and I don't know if it's a design flaw or if there's a board missing from it. We could figure it out, but something would need to be done. Seat boards in the cockpit. There's a couple of boards back there, actual wood, that need to be replaced. Not a big deal. Inspect the sails. The sails look good. I was wildly encouraged by that. In fact, I had the jib out, and the jib sheets, the lines that control the jib, they're great. So somebody's had that in a bag and inside, and so that's been good. There's an anchor locker up here at the front of the boat, and I couldn't get in it, and I ended up busting the latch on it. Not a big deal, but again, it'd have to be replaced. Check the chain plates. I did that. They are here. They are very strong. I have no problem with the chain plates. Check out the bilge. We're going to get back to that because it has to do with the keel. And you're going to see some video of this because it's messy. In fact, I think it's the linchpin. I really do think that it's going to force my decision. Centerboard trunk, pull it and inspect. Okay, I did that. It's off, and I think we got some video of that we'll show, and there's issues there too. There's a little gash in the hull back here. Not a big deal. That's easy to fix. See if the motor runs. I haven't looked at it. Don't know. New tiller. When I took the tiller and the rudder assembly out of the cockpit, the tiller just came apart in my hands. It's all rotted and terrible. Again, it is made out of wood, so I easily could make a new tiller. In fact, I'd enjoy doing it, but it needs to be done. New cabin sole boards. Yeah, there's supposed to be little floorboards along the centerboard trunk. They're not even there. There are no cushions in this boat. There's a V berth. It would need cushions, and then there's two side berths, both port and starboard. No cushions there. You could order cushions or have them made. Again, I can't imagine getting them for less than $1,500. So just based on some of the numbers that I've already given you, our ability to get and sell this thing for $5,000, I might break even on it. I figured out how much time I might have in it. I'd lose money. That's just all there is to it. So, I've been sleeping on this for 2 nights. You are actually watching me verbally say my conclusion and decision. Very hard decision. There's a leak down in the keel, and there's been a lot of water in this boat. There was water up to a foot deep in the cabin at some point. You can see ugly water lines in there. My feeling is that this boat's been sitting outside. I know that because of where we got it. Any water that was in the keel, if it froze, and I'm sure that it did, has expanded and I fear has destroyed the keel around where the center board comes down. The center board is also a mess. And could I fix it? Absolutely. I am perfectly confident in my ability and my knowledge and my experience that I could make it work. And I could fix it so it doesn't leak and could be seaworthy. I don't want to spend the time on it or the money or the energy. If I was going to keep this boat for my own because I just love it and I want to, then yes, I would do it. But I don't need this boat. I have lots of boats and I'm not particularly in love with this boat. Part of my struggle with this decision is that it would be a challenge to fix it. And it's a challenge that I would like to take on. I enjoy running into something that's difficult and hard to figure out and hard to fix. The satisfaction in coming up with the answers has its own value that I can't put a monetary figure on at all. It's just enjoyable. So there's that part of it. Taking a chainsaw to the hull, yeah, the first cut will be the hardest. This decision would be slightly easier if the keel was lead. It is not. It is steel, chunks of steel and steel rod and concrete, which I think has also contributed to some of the failure in the ballast keel. So, if it was lead, I'd cut that lead off of there and use it on the Somme Sound over here. We still need a little bit for when we make that keel, but it's not. So it is what it is. Okay, so what can we do? I'm gonna stop the camera for a second, just walk around the boat and show you some things and give you an idea how I think we can actually get some money out of this thing and make the time that we spent so far worthwhile. So what is there to like? There's some nice hardware on this boat. We've got this bow pulpit, very nice. It's very strongly attached. This cleat, there's two cleats, one on each side here at the bow, very nice. This hardware here for even if we would just take this snap shackle off of here, that's worth some money. That's worth quite a bit of money. Here's this hatch that I was talking about that's a mess. The stanchions. The stanchions, lifelines are probably shot, but the stanchions are good. Those are valuable. Our sail, our jib track here with the associated block, spring block here, it's worth some money. The winch, there's two winches, one on each side. Those are valuable. Probably could clean up the teak handrails. Those might fit a Catalina 22 or some other similar boat. Probably worth something. There's a couple of little jam cleats here. We may have to actually take these off and use them on the Somme Sound. You got to have cleats for that. Two more cleats back here at the transom and this stern pulpit. This motor mount, outboard motor bracket, that's good, with the exception of this board that I said we need to replace. The pintles, those are okay. Here's this swim ladder we had reattached. That's good. That could be sold. This is the main sheet block here. Those aren't cheap with that jam cleat. And here's the block for off of the boom. The boom's good. It's right there. Some of this hardware here on the lifelines. None of that's cheap. None of it. There's the other winch. There's some valuable stuff just on here. Okay, and then we got this little Mercury outboard. And like I said, I have no reason to believe it doesn't run. That's a 4.5 horse.
Nice little motor. Heck, I probably get $700-800 just out of the motor. So I think there's not much in the inside that's worth anything. It's really pretty well shot in there. The sails are absolutely worth something, and we got a whole box of other just miscellaneous stuff. Up there in the anchor locker up in the front, there is an anchor. So that's good. The line's probably not any good. There's a mast step here, one of these hinged mast steps. That's a pretty common kind of mast step. It's probably worth something. So, and then there's the trailer. It's outside, and I need a trailer for the Somme Sound. We're about ready to just got to paint this, and then we're going to flip it over. And so we absolutely are going to need a trailer for this boat. When we built the Haven, we bought a trailer. What was the name of that outfit? We got the Cadillac. I can't remember what it was. The trailer's actually sitting outside the shop here. And that trailer's in pretty good shape and can be made to be in excellent shape. And I believe that will absolutely work for our Somme Sound. So the sad conclusion is we're going to trash this boat, this Spindrift. It's just not going to be cost effective to try to get her right, and man, it kind of makes me sad. She is kind of a pretty little thing. All right. Well, we may do a video of the destruction. See you next time. If you like the video, remember to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.